Hello traders, Gary Wagner here. Just about 11:45 in Honolulu, 5:45 in New York. It is Tuesday, 4th day of December 2018, and this is the daily report for gold and silver. Nice moderate upside move in gold today, finishing off about $4.40 higher and closing at $12.44, and that is basis the most active February contract. Of course, we are long two contracts. We will talk about that as well as moving our stops up as we look at our technical studies. Silver gained roughly 10 cents on the day today and closed at $14.60. Platinum lost a little bit of ground, about $4.90 at $805.80, but the big mover once again was palladium, up $17, closing at $1182.60 and coming closer and closer into parity with gold. Now, we had a tremendous sell-off in the equities markets today. Dow Jones Industrial Average plunging about 800 points, 799.36, closing at 25,027. That's a net decline of over 3% on the day. Standard & Poor's, likewise, a net decline of 3.24, closing at 2,700. Lastly is the NASDAQ Composite. That sold off almost 4% on the day, closing at 71.59. And that was all in light of a fairly neutral dollar, down about 5 points at 96.91. Traders, the first chart that I do want to look at today is a weekly chart. And the reason that I'm pulling up a weekly chart on Tuesday is so that I can put in the entire data set that we have been using for our fib retracement numbers, because we're at a pretty critical point, which is at the 50% level at about 1246. As you know, I am on record stating that this is a potential place where we could find some resistance. When we look at today's high, that came in at 1247.50, so just above this particular line. And realize the reason I think this data set is so valid is because it begins at the end of 2016 and accounts for the multiple tops up here at 1360, 1370, so that when we do see the market come to this area and then back off a little bit, it certainly warrants our attention. But there's some real keys on the bullish side that we need to look at also. And for that, we'll go ahead and pull up a daily chart. And of course, on this daily chart, you can more easily see the fact that we did trade just above potential resistance area at 1246. But what is most noteworthy is the occurrence of this golden cross between the 50-day and 100-day moving average that occurred just a few days ago. We talked about that as being an incredibly bullish item here, and I believe that it is going to signal some higher prices. What it is telling us that gold has moved back into an intermediate rather than a short-term bullish trend. Now, we want to see, of course, how it reacts in this particular area here. And if we can trade above it, which I believe there's a good opportunity, a high probability that it will, this is our next earmarked goal, which is going to be set on the 200-day moving average, and that currently resides at 1261. Of course, we are long 2 contracts of Feb gold. Our average price right now is $12.29, so we do have some substantial profits, and we do want to look to move our stop up. We do have this support level here at about 1230 based on these tops here that were former resistance. And I'm looking at something like the lows that came in today, which are at approximately 1235, as a potential place to move our stop to. Let's follow it this afternoon. Of course, I will send out a special trade alert to that effect. Traders, maintain your current long position and maintain your current stop. Look to raise that within the next 24 to 48 hours. And traders, lastly, I do want to take a look at palladium. Palladium futures up over $15 today at $11.81. Obviously, we couldn't use a Fibonacci retracement because we're not looking at the market coming down, but what I have added is a basic fib extension. Now, the extension has a starting point which comes in at around 2009 when we had palladium trading at about 200. It's a very long data set with a weekly chart. I'm taking that all the way up to this top here, and the top here occurs at about 900, and then we fix our starting point down at about 440. Interestingly enough, when we look at the one-to-one relationship, that comes in at 1186. The market is at 1181. So we are extremely close to a one-to-one relationship on this extension. If it was to track further, we would look at the 1.31. That comes in at around $1,400. That would be obviously pretty significant. But I think the fact that we've got a one-to-one is interesting. This is a point we want to look at very carefully because although I believe it will come into parity with gold, I have also seen palladium on multiple occasions have a parabolic rise followed by a parabolic fall. This has been Gary Wagner, wishing you, as always, good trading. We'll talk to you tomorrow for another daily update and review. Bye-bye.